Glen Sali has been managing Capital Cabs for 17 years. He employs 85 drivers, but thinks he'll have to downsize if Uber arrives. His taxi operators have to pay more than $5,000 a year to insure their cabs. So he thinks it's unfair the government plans to introduce an affordable insurance option for companies like Uber.
I think that's totally wrong. I think they should be treated the same way as a taxi industry. If they're going to be transporting people, they should have the same insurance as all of us, and to give somebody a special deal, I don't think that's right.
SGI says details about this new insurance are still being worked out. It estimates premiums will fall somewhere in between what it costs to insure a personal vehicle and a cab. The reason? Uber drivers will be on the road less than regular full-time cab drivers. SGI is also considering rates based on actual usage. But insurance costs aren't Sali's only concern. Training is another issue. Taxi drivers are required to get criminal record checks. They also need to take driver's training. If Uber arrives, Sali says its drivers should be trained to the same standard.
We just can't send somebody out with no training. They have to have training so they know what to do. There's a lot of different situations. How do you deal with different clientele, and how do you deal with children? They have to know this.
The union representing taxi drivers says it has no problem with Uber or other ride-hailing companies, so long as they're regulated to the same standard as this taxi industry. It also says the government needs to ask what drivers think, something that hasn't been done yet.
We don't believe it was rolled out with the proper consultation, and we think that representing about 600 of the taxi drivers in the province, that they should have done more consulting before they talked to Uber, this big out-of-province corporation. They should have maybe talked to the people that live and work here.
SGI hopes to bring forward recommendations on how to legislate Uber sometime this fall. As for the government, a spokesperson for the Premier says the intent is to create a level playing field between Uber and the taxi industry. Stephanie Taylor, CBC News, Regina.